Hi, this is Keith Townsend from Virtualized Geek, and you're watching episode number 42 of Virtualized Geek's Tech Talk. You know what? This is a meaty topic. Software-defined networking. We talked about software-defined storage last week, which is, that's a tough topic. But software-defined networking, there's a lot at stake from a lot of the legacy vendors out there, whether they're hardware vendors or players such as VMware with their acquisition of Nicira and trying to get a foothold into networking. There's a lot at stake and a lot of kind of conversation and FUD going around about what's software-defined networking, what's needed. Do we really need this whole concept of network virtualization to have a programmable network that's policy-driven? So I figured I'd tackle this from a business perspective, right? Like kind of the why we do IT, and then back our way into the technology and why we choose certain technology constructs versus others. So let's talk about the business challenge that software-defined networking or the programmable or abstracted network, whatever we want to call it. What's the real business challenge? Not the technology challenge, but the business challenge. And this is how we actually sell these technologies into our enterprise, whether we're a network administrator trying to convince our network manager or director or CIO to accept these technologies, or if we're a CIO trying to sell it to a CEO. Basically, what does the whole concept of a programmable network give the business? So, the business problem. It's the same problem that we have when we're battling shadow IT with Amazon.com or Rackspace or OpenStack or whatever the cloud provider. When a business provider gets frustrated with IT and its ability to execute upon strategy, then they'll go to wherever they can to be able to consume the services that they need in order to support their mission. Software-defined networking aims to solve a specific problem around the network. One of the bottlenecks when it comes to cloud computing in general is the network. When we think about kind of the time that it takes to provision x86 compute, the time that it takes to even provision storage, compared to the time that it takes to provision networking, there is no comparison. Even, we like to beat up on storage and the complexity of storage, but bottom line is once storage is set up and provisioned and given to your vCenter, we probably don't have to talk to the storage administrators until we run out of storage. Networking is very unique in the sense that every time you set up a new application, new firewall rules have to be set up, new VLANs, networks, routing tables, the whole shebang. If I need to test applications, I have to do the same thing. If I need to set up disaster recovery, I have to create a new design for disaster recovery. If I want to extend my network out to the cloud, I have to figure out how to do that securely. So from a kind of process perspective, network becomes the bottleneck of the cloud. I recently did kind of a lot of research on OpenStack, which is, it's kind of the thing. Everyone talks about OpenStack for agility. But when you look at kind of the three building blocks of OpenStack, Nova, Cinder, and Neutron, which is the networking piece, I looked a lot into Neutron, and I'm thinking, wow, where's the meat? I'm not talking about kind of the meat of technology. The technology is pretty much there for virtualizing the network. I'm talking about where is the orchestration and problem solving of my current solution, which is managing my physical devices and creating this nirvana of software-defined networking. OpenStack by itself doesn't solve that. Neutron by itself doesn't solve that. Projects such as VMware's NXX, Open Daylight, Cisco's ACI is aiming at solving these problems. brings about VMware's theme from VMworld 2013 when they're trying to explain the business value of NXX. The new fast is better, or fast is faster is better. Basically, the faster you can provision, the more integrated the solution is into your operations, the better the overall value to the organization. So let's forget about the ability that NXX hypervisor brings. Let's talk about the value that NXX ACI brings to the enterprise when it comes to agility. I've often made the argument that cloud computing is most definitely not about saving money. Deploying software-defined networking is not about saving money. It's about adding capability. If we can make an argument to our business owners that we can not only be as quick in responding to their needs and as elastic as responding to their needs as AWS, but we can also add much more capability and value to those services, then we can fight shadow IT. The ideal that we can integrate with the existing CRM, ERP, that we can integrate with our collaboration tools and to enable the business to build new and cool applications that really meet the needs of the business is an argument that software-defined networking overall supports. So, there's two flavors basically from the two major vendors, VMware and Cisco, of software-defined networking. VMware's approach is to virtualize everything. They're a virtualization company, so if you virtualize everything, abstract it from the hardware, you can put a software wrapper around that in NXX and feed that up to the application layer. The application layer can take it from there, and now voila, you have software-defined networking. You have this capability that I just spoke about. Cisco, slightly different approach. They say, you know what, if we give you a controller and allow you to control your hardware, provision your hardware, do the VLAN configurations, the firewall, the virtual firewalls, if we can give you that feature set and allow you to still have the same level of performance that you're accustomed to from ASIC-based silicon, then hey, why not the better? There's pros and cons to each approach. VMware, hardware agnostic. If you have a Juniper network, if you had a heterogeneous network in general, and you want to leverage software-defined networking, and the majority of your network is virtualized, then there's a play for you when it comes to VMware solution. Cisco, on the other hand, is if you have a non-VMware environment. Let's be honest. If you're a big Hyper-V shop and you want all of the advantages of a software-defined network, then VMware can't really play in that space, at least not today with Hyper-V. And Cisco can come along and give you that capability. Cisco also has the advantage that they have a huge footprint, not only in the enterprise, but also in the service provider. So when you talk about extending your software-defined network from the enterprise to the provider cloud, Cisco may have a better story to tell today than VMware does. But back to the main point, software-defined networking. Why do we care about it? The whole point is to be able to enable the business, to have the agility that cloud computing promises. We need to be able to abstract the control plane of the network in some fashion so that we can give tools such as OpenStack, VMware VCAG, BMC's Cloud Manager, the list goes on and on. When we give those applications the ability to control the network, we offer the business true value. Well, that's it for this episode of Virtualized Geeks Tech Talk. We'll talk a little bit more about network virtualization versus kind of the whole ACI approach or hardware-based programmable networks. We'll talk about that, I think, pretty soon in the near future. Visit us on virtualizedgeek.com. Like the videos, comment. Talk to you guys next Tech Talk.